Once there was a young man who worked in a mill. He was sincere, hard-working, and always did his job with full dedication. He never received the same appreciation from his boss. Others around him got promotions and recognition, while he remained stuck in the same position year after year. Feeling frustrated, one day he went to meet his master. He asked with disappointment, "Master, I have given my best in my work. I work harder than anyone else, and I have learned every skill in this factory. But still, people with half my experience are moving ahead, while I remain in the same position even after many years. Why is this happening to me? Why is my work not being appreciated?" The master looked at him with calm face and asked, "Do you think you are truly deserving and mill cannot run without you?" The young man confidently replied, "Yes, master. I am sure of it. If I am not there, many things will stop working." The master thought for a while and then said, "Then do one thing. Take a day off and see what happens when you are not there. Then come back and tell me." The man was surprised to hear this. He had never taken a day off from his work, but he had to be his master. So he quickly went back and applied for relief. The next day, he stayed home and let the mill run without him. When he returned, the manager called him and said, "Thank God you are back. Yesterday was a disaster. Problems kept coming up and no one could solve them. Normally, you handle everything, but without you, everything was a mess." The manager started to recognize his importance. Soon after, he promoted the young man to the position of senior technician to thank him and encourage him to keep up the good work. The young man felt proud and thought to himself, "So this is the secret to being valued." From then on, whenever he felt ignored, he repeated the same trick. He would take a day off, and when he returned, people once again noticed his importance. This went on for several months. But one morning when he arrived at the mill, the guard stopped him at the gate. When he asked the reason, he was shocked to hear that his job has been terminated. The management had replaced him with someone else. Broken and confused, he ran back to his master. "Master, master," he cried, "I did exactly what you told me. Then why did I lose my job? Why have I been terminated?" The master shook his head gently and said, "No, my son. You only understood half the lesson. I told you to come back to me for the second half, which was even more important, but you never did." Then he said, "You see, when a light bulb is always shining, people often ignore it. But when it goes off, people realize its importance. But if it keeps going off again and again, people replace it with another bulb that is more reliable." Similarly, in life, it is important to make others realize your importance by stepping back sometimes. But don't disappear so often that they learn to live without you. Whether in your office, with your friends, your family, or in relationships, people value those who are both reliable and unique. If you are always there, you may be taken for granted. But if you become unreliable, they will look for someone else. The key, my son, is to keep balance. In our life, we will find that in life, every one of us wants to be valued. Whether at work, in relationships, or within the family, we all want respect, recognition, and appreciation. But very often, people either take us for granted or fail to see our worth. The story teaches us that value is not something we can demand. It is something we must create in the eyes of others. When you are always present, always available, people may begin to ignore your importance. When you step back once in a while, people begin to realize how much you actually mean to them. They feel the gap your absence creates, and in that moment your value rises. But be careful not to repeat this too often. If you keep disappearing again and again, others will start to look for someone else who is more reliable. And once they find a replacement, your importance will vanish. Therefore, balance is the key. You must show your worth, but at the same time, you must also remain dependable. To increase your value in others' eyes, you should build your uniqueness, polish your skills, and carry out your responsibilities with sincerity.